Alright boys, lock and load. We are gathered here today with Mr. Chase Hughes to probably try and change some subconscious patterning that we may have going on, right? It's the New Year's 2026. I don't know how many of y'all still, hooked on that New Year's resolution type thing. I never really been myself, but yeah, it might just be the time for that, the perfect time for that, right? Let's call this one the Black Mirror Reflections, right? Because we're reflecting on our subconscious minds to try and you know what I'm saying? Change that for the better, right? Let's see. I just know we're here for a reason. Chase Hughes talks about rewire your brain and make habits stick, right? Rewire your brain, make habits stick. You feel me? Ain't nothing more annoying than you trying to change something, but because of your old habits, you just get stuck on your old ways type shit, right? Let's see what it's about though. Any day now.
What if you could rewire your mind?
What if?
Yeah, that New Year's resolution that you're worried is gonna fall apart.
Yep.
Well, what if you're doing it wrong?
What if?
Okay, today's interview is Chase Hughes. He is a 20-year Navy veteran who is the expert in the world on interrogation and really brainwashing people into better behavior.
What can we learn
his background comes from learning about this and implementing these behavioral changes in the interrogation room and for places where the enemy of the state was his job to get information out of. But what he's leaned into is a Harvard-trained and a Duke University-trained neuroscientist who flips behavior to an incredible potential of being the best version of you.
Come on. Help us flip our degenerate behaviors, bro. That's what we're here for, right?
Interview is something I counted down to.
That sounds great.
It might be my favorite interview I've ever done.
Let's do it.
Enjoy the interview on how to rewire your best health for the next year.
Okay, I don't know about y'all, man. Y'all gonna have to bear with me and forgive me. With the whole interview setup, you know what I'm saying? I know a whole lot of you may be, a bit on the younger side. Y'all want probably exciting slideshows and things like that. That's just probably gonna sensitize your dopamine hits, you know what I'm saying, in terms of your entertainment intake, right? Of whatever video that you're watching, you know what I'm saying? This is a classic sit down interview, man, and y'all gonna have to bear with me. With that one, right? All right, let's continue.
I think when it comes to brainwashing, what you're really looking at is effective, fast change of behavior.
That's it.
And that's what brainwashing really is. Can we change behavior fast?
Let's go.
And there's a formula to brainwashing, and I've taught this to many of my clients.
Damn, brainwashing. Wait, this nigga didn't even... this neighbor didn't even introduce, the point of brainwashing. Okay, cool. I guess point number one, we brainwash. We gotta brainwash ourselves, right?
And there's a 7-step process that if you wanted to brainwash yourself,
let's go.
You could take the exact same process and use it for setting goals, or we're in December right now, so New Year's resolutions.
Right.
And you can take that exact process, and we can go through this if you want to. It may take me a few minutes,
I think that's exactly right. So let me just show you where I'm at this pivot point in my career, which is
what's that?
For 25 years, I've been the doctor repairing brains. And as a physician, the first toolbox was a whole bunch of prescriptions.
Yep.
Then it's been TMS, and it's been hyperbaric chamber, and it's been the ketogenic diet, and it's been sleep reprogramming, and some of the advanced parts of how to heal a brain.
What else?
All got stopped when the patient's home of origin had an identity locked in their brain that I couldn't bust through. And as I was hearing how you change...
You know what's beautiful about this? Let me just quickly, before we get into the rest of the video, you know what's beautiful about what this doctor has realized right here? Shout out to this woman, you know what I'm saying, this doctor right here, because she doesn't just leave a problem where, you know what I'm saying, where it just festers or where it just lingers or whatever, and then just, you know what I'm saying, goes ahead and just gives you whatever she needs to give you as per protocol, right? And then just bets on the fact that whatever she's giving you is temporarily gonna, make the problem disappear, because we're not trying to go for temporary things, right? So she's making an effort to be like, you know what, this is where this stops, bro. We need to go deeper with it. You know what I'm saying? It's I respect doctors that don't bet on the whole model of making profits, you know what I'm saying? So making sure that you keep coming back, keep giving us your money, even though knowing damn well that what they're giving you is not working. You know what I'm saying? So yes, let's dive into the details of how we can actually brainwash ourselves, because I guess, you know, the next step from you having tried all types of medication, you having tried all types of methods and theories, you know what I'm saying? The next best thing might just be, brainwash yourself, bro. Let's see how we can do that, right?
Change people's thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I got goosebumps saying, oh my gosh, this is what I've been trying to do. So I would absolutely love the 7 steps that, I mean, I hope my audience can just see, this is a brilliant move.
Let's see it.
For 25 years, I've been searching for this answer. So let's just let you unpack. How do these 7 steps begin?
How do they?
Yeah. So just about everything that we've been taught about goal setting is built for the wrong brain.
Shit, what do you mean?
It's built for the thinking brain instead of the deciding brain. And we have 2 of those things.
Oh, damn.
And there's a thing called the triune brain model, where we have this human brain, there's a mammalian brain, there's like a reptile brain. It's a model for the brain. I think all models are wrong. Some are useful. I think this one is
all models of the brain are wrong. What kind of beautiful information is this? Yes. Let's break the old traditional ways of how, you know, these scientists used to, you know, believe or think that brains work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy might just come through with a whole new way of us looking at shit. You know what I mean? That's valuable, I think.
So I think most people don't realize this, but neuroscience figured this out a long time ago.
What's
so
that?
The part of you that plans your goals, the prefrontal cortex. This is the front human part of the brain.
Yeah.
This is not the part that actually executes behavior.
Really?
Execution lives a whole lot lower, way downstairs. And this is our brainstem, our basal ganglia, our limbic system.
Yeah.
And that's why people can know exactly what they want to do and still they don't do it.
Oh my God. Talk about it, bro. Talk about it. Talk about being a prisoner of your own mind, God damn it.
A character flaw problem here.
Yeah.
And most people are like, oh, I'm an idiot, I'm lazy, or I lack discipline. It's just architecture. So once you understand that, we're going to...
Okay, let me just, you know, just to clarify the audience that are like tapping into this because of me, you know what I'm saying? That are here through my... Look, you're not lazy. You know what I'm saying? Look, you're not lazy, right? You're not pathetic. You understand me? You're not pathetic. You're not useless. Come on with it. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you think you can use your willpower and you can't. That's why we gathered here today, folks. You feel me? You ain't alone. Fuck, you ain't alone. I feel like Dr. Hughes over here doesn't realize this. That's why he's here to help us, right?
Stop asking ourselves, how do I motivate myself better? How do I get more motivation or more
How do
discipline?
I? Yeah.
And we start asking, how do I reprogram the system that decides what feels necessary?
Good question.
That one question.
What feels necessary? Okay.
Oh.
Yes, if something feels necessary, then of course we're gonna jump on it and we're gonna take action on it.
Yeah.
So step 1 is target acquisition. So this is how the brain locks on to something.
Target acquisition.
And your brain has a structure called the reticular activating system, which is part of the reticular formation.
Right.
And inside of this RAS, its job is to filter reality.
Okay.
Not really giving you full reality. It's just filtering it down to what it thinks is important to you.
Yeah.
So you're exposed to millions and millions of bits of information every second. And so let's say it's an average of, let's say, 8 to 10 million bits of information per second.
Yeah.
Your brain holds on to 40. Your brain makes you aware of 40 of those bits. So it deletes almost everything else.
Yeah.
So what does it keep? It keeps what it's been trained to look for.
Nice.
That's why when you go out and buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing that thing everywhere. The cars didn't multiply, and it's not like everyone went out and copied.
Okay, wait. Let me try and paint this real life example. So you buy the new car. Obviously, that new car is within your attention now because it's within your possession, right? You never had this experience with this new brand of a car because you never could afford it. You know what I'm saying? You never was interested, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? And then right now, obviously, since you done went and you know, picked the car up, it's like everything, you know, that's fascinating about this, the energy around this car is just within your attention, right? So obviously, it's kind of like you're gonna see it. You're gonna see this car experienced by somebody else or owned by somebody else, and then you're gonna like automatically put yourself in that same person's shoes automatically because you realize what of theirs that you have as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like a similar, it's like a real recognized real. It's like this recognized this in that. You know what I mean? So obviously it's gonna capture your attention. It's not, that doesn't mean the shit was never there to begin with, right? Your neighbor that owns that same car that you just picked up today might have had the car like for the past 2 years. You just did not notice that because you don't own the same car, or you don't own a similar car. So it's like none of, you know, right? Something like that. Kind of makes sense in my head, I ain't gonna lie.
You and went out and got the same car.
I'm not gonna lie.
Your brain says, okay, Chase thinks this pickup truck is important. I'm going to show him everybody else that has this pickup truck.
There we go.
So it's your brain changing a filter. So when people,
it's thinking it's important. Changing its filters. Nice, go on.
People say, I want a better year.
Right.
The reticular activating system completely ignores it.
This is why it failed resolutions everywhere. You're starting in the wrong spot of the brain.
Right.
That's
and there's nothing that it can really lock onto. So, but when you define a precise arrival condition, that word exactly. Yeah. A precise arrival condition. The filter updates, but you have to do it all the time. Yeah. Remember, the lower part of your brain has no capability with language. So when people say, write out these affirmations, put this Post-it note on the mirror, say something to yourself, the lower part of your brain cannot speak English. Period.
Offline.
Oh my gosh, bro. Does that mean I operate on the lower part of my brain mostly? Because let me tell you something, right? With me, it's like, you know, this whole thing of trying to get my logic and my like what happens in my brain, like the conscious part, you know what I'm saying, where the willpower is, like where you can envision, like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do, these are the actions I'm supposed to take, but then end up not freaking following any of that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you are more than just your brain, you are more than just like what happens upstairs, you are your lower natures too. Just because you try to focus on like the higher things of life and just the higher decision makings of it, like whatever, you still got your lower, you know, primal instincts to you. And I guess that's what we about to like just find out, that the lower part of the brain is just instinctual over intellectual, right? Something like that, maybe. We have a lot of structures in our brain. Right. We have a visual cortex, we have an auditory cortex. Yep. But there is no... so the point I was trying to make is that I'm probably trying to, you know, outdo like my old habits just using the lower parts of my brain, where it's like, bro, language and repeating affirmations and this, that, and the third, that shit is not going to work for you, right? There's some, you know, there's measures beyond that I have to take as well. You know? No hierarchical structure for language in the brain. Yeah, okay. So we have to understand I'm influencing a mammal here. And mammals don't speak English, even though my wife likes to lecture our dogs for 5 to 10 minutes. They don't speak English.
It's one of my favorite examples you've used, to said, if you can't tell this to a dog, you're talking to the wrong part of your brain. You're way over complicating it. It has to be that.
And how do you tell a dog? Do you bark at that motherfucker?
Primal and simple. That's where you had me saying, all right, I've had patients like this where I'm like, I'm not making it way too hard. We got to go back to real basics if we're going to change this behavior. Okay. So true. Keep going. This is good.
Right. So instead of me saying more money, I'm going to have a number, a condition. I'm going to precise arrival. What does it look like to arrive there? So we're moving from motivation to just neuronal targeting. So we're teaching our brain what matters. And we're going to do it whether you want to on purpose or you're just letting it happen. It's happening all day anyway. Right. So the brain's going to work on problems that it thinks are relevant to survival and identity, whether you consciously think about them or not.
Okay.
So is this congruent with who I think and say that I am? And is this going to help me survive in the tribe? Is it going to help me live longer? Whatever. So step 2 is threat modeling. These are kind of like black site terms. But what I want everybody to know is fear is not the enemy here. And this part can make some people uncomfortable, but neuroscience is crystal clear on this. This has been reviewed for hundreds of years.
Then what's the function of fear?
The brain is not optimized for happiness. No neuroscientist will ever tell you that. It's optimized primarily for threat avoidance. If you go back to our ancestors, they were way more likely to mistake a rock for a bear than the other way around, right? So threat avoidance is number 1. Humans don't move toward pleasure, is what this is telling us. We're way more likely to move away from threat. So what we're going to do to the human brain is to weaponize the contrast.
Okay.
So the protocol here for step 2 is to write 2 futures out.
Yeah.
And make them vivid. Use imagery, go to Google Images or Pinterest or whatever. Build two different futures, not just one. So future A is the desired outcome.
Yeah.
This is vivid, sensory, precise, and very calm confidence, all the stuff that you're arriving at this place. Future number 2 is the failure trajectory there.
The failure trajectory.
So this is, if not,
so the us falling back into old habits and old ways, even though we've promised ourselves now. You know, the opposite of what this is what we have to get to. But then still find ourselves not being able to do it. Future 2, let's hear it.
nothing happens, nothing changes, same
Yep.
habits, same beliefs, same excuses.
I don't know how many of y'all just get annoyed by future too. Like me, I've gone to a point where I just get so annoyed with future too, dog. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one thing that might just free neighbors. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the grip of habits that you're trying to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Don't focus on, man, let me just actually not tell you what to do right here, because we ain't even halfway the video. Let's let the video tell us what to do, right? But I've just to testify in terms of how I've conceptualized letting go of just like things that have a toxic grip on you, right? Is literally, I don't even focus on the pleasantness. You know what I'm saying? I find myself not being focused on the pleasantness of like future A, you know, the future of the desired outcome. But I just get so pissed and so annoyed, and I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm out of body almost, you know what I mean? I get out of body to a point where it's like, I'm really trying to let go of this, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm so annoyed of future result B. Because I keep finding myself in the same, you know what I'm saying? In that same outcome. But then now, look at what happens. This fear creeps in. The fear that Dr. Hughes is talking about, right? It creeps in. But apparently that's not my enemy. Well, then how can I work with that to make myself a better person, right? How can I work with my fear? Let's hear it.
This one has to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So loss aversion is stronger than reward anticipation in the brain.
Loss aversion is, oh my God. Loss aversion. That's my whole example. That's what I just said right now. You get so pissed at the fact that you keep losing this battle. And, you know, there you go. You probably derive more value at just being pissed so hard at losing that you don't focus on just winning and the roses and the beautiful outcome of this outcome right here. But, like, you're just, like, trying to get away from this. So the brain is hardwired to avoid threat instead of, you know, ruminating on the rainbows and roses of the perfect scenario type of outcome. That's interesting.
From decades of research.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Your amygdala, this emotional part of our brain, it's a
Emotional
threat
part?
detection center.
Okay.
Activates like 10 times faster and 10 times stronger than all the reward circuits. So when people only visualize success, they're missing half of the equation. So consequences are very important. So the brain needs that contrast. You need to show it. Where you're going if you change and where you're going if you don't. And here's the thing that most...
So you're telling me that's a crucial part of your changing? Right?
people I don't think articulate. Doing nothing is still choosing the future.
To do something, yeah, okay.
And
Cool.
once you visually model that future emotionally, not just abstract, emotionally, something flips. Staying the same begins to feel unsafe. And that's the point that everyone needs to get to. If we're coming up on New Year right now,
Yep.
you need to get in a place where staying the same starts to feel unsafe.
Pisses
That's
you
where wanna
off.
be. And safety is the language of that mammalian brain. It speaks that fluently.
All right.
So that's step 2.
So
Let's
that
do
you
it.
called it threat modeling. So the one was the threat of what your desires are, and the opposite was the threat of the unchange, but recognizing that is dangerous. I mean, especially for the patients that I can see the danger. I've been playing this role out for 25 years. I've seen you 1,000 times, a decade older, 2 decades older. The future is terrible if nothing changes. But they couldn't see that. You're saying that in a really, I love the amygdala. It's the tiniest little nubbin in the brain, but it is like a hot plate when you get somebody who's got anger and fear and drive.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
alive. It is so.
Why you had to come for my life, doctor? Like, why you had to point me out so blatantly, so accurately? Golly. Wait. Am I your patient, bro?
Connected to the rest of the brain that connecting the behavior change to that super hotspot. Well, it's nothing short of brilliant. Of course that would work, right? So the threat threat modeling is create the desire in a way that also is threatening to stay the same. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And just clearly picturing like you are at a fork in the road, whether you like it or not. I'm going to build those two forks. I'm going to very vividly go through.
Oh yeah, and please don't judge me too much of this vaping shit, bro. Like I'm trying, bro. Please, like, get off of me, bro. Like it's on the thing. I just threw it on the bed, bro. Chill.
And build those out.
Okay.
Shit.
All right, so step 3.
Okay.
Step
I'm
3,
writing
let's
this
go.
down. I'm learning all this.
Yep.
This is identity engineering. So
What does that mean?
our habits follow our self-image. And I will say first, going between step 2 and 3 here.
Yep.
Download the app called Face App or Oldify.
Why,
And it's gonna make you,
bro? You app marketers, bro. You telling me you're trying to help me out so I can get your app? All right, brother. Let's get that app. Let's hear about that app.
90
Shit.
years old,
I
80
need that
years old,
shit.
you just take a selfie. So your mammalian brain starts forming a relationship because we don't care about our future self because it's harder for us to imagine them, to picture them. So print that thing out.
So say the name of the
Maybe
app
put it on
again.
your fridge.
Because I didn't download it, but I heard you say this about 10 times as I was researching you.
You could probably do it with GPT now.
Shameless
probably.
promo.
Face App will do it. We have a 2-year-old and we aged her to like 16 and then 30. And
Oh,
it's
Dad, don't do that. Don't look ahead. It's hard.
Bro, like, wait, but doesn't like a projection, like a AI fake, obviously, projection of you, like a artificial projection of yourself, wouldn't that now, or I guess that is the function that an AI projected version of you, like an app that does that. I guess the function of that is to burn the image in your head of how you're gonna look like and scare the shit out of you using that. You know what I'm saying? So that you could have that image of you burned into your memory from a young age, being generated by an app, so that every time you remember that image that was generated by that app, that ugly ass image, bruh, you can get terrified out of doing, you know what I'm saying? The things that will have you looking like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, there is no other better, there is no better way I could justify that, but yeah, that kind of made sense to me, right?
So, yeah, so Face App is great. And you want to get your mammalian brain and that reticular activating system to constantly think about older you. And older you should always take priority. So like if it comes down to me like having 5 extra drinks or getting plenty of sleep, I'm prioritizing plenty of sleep because that's older me. They take priority.
You said this in one of the podcasts where I'm like, oh, that is the definition of discipline. Like it's not telling yourself or writing it down or the check.
Wait, my bad. Is that the difference between higher self and lower self? The older you is gonna make the better decision. Maybe? I don't know. All right, let me hear it.
It is the image that person in your future self matters more than this short-term little whatever desire you've got.
Identity projection.
And I've never heard that described that way, but it connected with, I am using that till the day I die. That is exactly what discipline is.
But dude, what if you don't mess with the older version of you though? What if you don't like the older version of you, right? What if you like sitting there, you like, bro, I don't like how I'm finna be like as an old guy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, you know, the one thing that would like scare me the most is like my energy as an old guy. It's kind of like I can kind of feel it, especially when I ain't, when I ain't done the habits, right? The habits that got me by the ball sack, right? You know what I'm saying? The habits that kind of make it hard for me to just like live any other way except, this substance abusing and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I imagine myself outside. Okay, and another thing, let me just be clear with it. Like my biggest thing in terms of actually changing habits, bro, is my substance use of Mary Jane. Boom. Substance use of Mary Jane and nicotine. I'm not an alcoholic, bro. That's it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like my projection of just like having been separated from those things is kind of dry, dog. Stale, bro. Boring, dog. It's like, and don't get me wrong, bro. Don't get me twisted. I have quit. Like I have taken my breaks, but like in my break taking, it's like you become this. And like, that version of me, that older version, I think that's the version, as per the example that, we were given. But that version of me is just like, it's not interested in nothing, don't want to connect with nobody. Maybe I'm just like being hit by the withdrawals of the marijuana. I've been a smoker for just like a decade and a half, straight 15 years, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of see that other version. I'm like, bro, it sucks here. You know what I'm saying? Like what about and then like I'm naturally not gonna choose that version of me. So am I doomed naturally like that? Because like, tell me right now if I'm doomed. If I'm doomed, man, we can just click off of this video because there's nothing that can help me from that point on, right? I don't like that version of me, bro.
I love it.
You love it?
Thank you.
No, I don't.
So with step 2,
okay,
we're engineering this identity thing. Your brain is going to violate logic before it violates identity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think about this. We're not gonna say like, oh well, I'm stupid and here's all these logic things that make total sense. We will call logic stupid and then rewire the identity around it. This is called cognitive dissonance. It's super it's well researched.
So, okay, I get it, doctor. So I'm just, I'm suffering from my own little cognitive dissonance, right?
If behavior conflicts with identity, behavior changes, not identity.
For real?
This is why people sabotage goals that don't match who they believe they are. So instead of asking, how do I force myself to do this? We ask, what kind of person would never even question this behavior? So I want to give you this one piece here that is worth just burning into your soul.
Give it to me. Pause. Burning into my soul. Extra pause. Nigga. What?
Identity lives in predictive processing. So your brain's model of who I am and how I operate is what that is. So once that model updates, habits stop requiring a whole lot of effort. So that's why willpower feels exhausting as hell. It's fighting the model instead of rewriting it. So when identity shifts, behavior feels obvious. So there's a protocol here that you can do. And you could do this daily. And I would recommend it daily if you really want to do brainwashing on yourself. You have to define 3 beliefs that person holds, 3 daily behaviors that kind of person defaults to. And then 3 standards they do not negotiate.
Shit, so that's hard though.
That you're setting down. You're writing the rules. Like the lifestyle rules of this new identity.
Man, come on. Okay, cool.
And on a recurring basis. So that's rule 3.
Okay, so let me just grab that into my head. So I look at, I'm going to take back to a time when I was a runner.
Take it.
I don't like running. I didn't like running, but for a season I decided I was going to be a runner.
Okay, what happened?
It took about 2 months before I started to hear myself say the things that other runners said.
What's that?
So if I was applying this to my belief system, I don't want to be a runner. That's not what I want to do. But I remember the shift of how I thought about myself. And to this day, I'm not a runner, but I think of myself as a runner because of how much what you just said. So like the 3 beliefs that the new person would hold is getting up in the morning in the dark in South Dakota and leaving the house at 4:30 in the morning was like a pride point. Like this was a badge of honor that I was doing, not sleepy mom, it was truly a badge of honor. That the ability to tell somebody how many miles I ran in a week, I thought it was the stupidest thing when I wasn't a runner, but suddenly I adopted this language. I'm like, oh, I am that person. And then, so to look at the non-negotiable.
You kind of grow into that, develop yourself into that, right? Okay, cool, go on.
It was, I'm just thinking about what would be a non-negotiation for a runner. Like, I mean, you never slept past the alarm on your run days. You just never did that. That was you just got up and you did it.
Non-negotiable is, this is my tool, and I'm not going to put poison in it. I'm not going to do things that injure this thing. Or if it's one of the non-negotiables is, if I have running on my calendar, I will run.
Yes. It became that cult-like in my mind. Like I was not breaking a rule. I was doing this. And it truly changed how I thought about myself. I even though eventually I stopped running somewhere, I think it was the next baby that I stopped running, but it was, okay, so I get this. And I look at patients that fail at this. I mean, they come in, they have diabetes, they are 150 pounds overweight. I can tell them all the things, but until they can see who they have hope of the person that can be them. It doesn't matter what I say. There's no medicine, there's no manipulation, there's no way I can get them to get past the sprint of a week of change behavior into, I need you to run for the next 3 years with me to get that young person.
3 years? Damn! Could already hear the person's mind that they talking to. Man, damn, 3? Yes, Nick. Yes, 3.
back alive in your
Yes.
in the human body.
Maybe 6. Maybe.
Hold.
All right. So next is environmental sabotage.
Damn. So wait, let me try and take my little quick guess. So environmental sabotage would be like you trying to quit whatever, or you trying to change your ways, rewire your brain. You know what I'm saying? Create new habits, create new this, that, and the third, right? But then circling back to the same group of friends, to the same environments, to the same kind of spaces that would influence you to get back into them little habits, right? I think I might just have, ballpark kind of like the right idea, right? Let me see.
And as a subtitle for this, you could write down context always beats discipline.
Okay, cool.
So here's a super overlooked fact that is
Where is it? Where is it?
Most of your behaviors is context dependent. It's not value dependent. So it's same person, different environment, you get a different behavior. So your basal ganglia.
Wait, same person, different environment, you get a different. Yeah. For sure.
Run all of these scripts that are tied to location and time and posture and cues.
Yep.
That's why changing your environment works even when motivation doesn't work. That's why when you walk through a doorway, like when I walk into my office to grab something and I forget.
Yep.
The moment I reach that little boundary from one room to the next, like you're like, oh shit, what did I come in here to do? What was I supposed to get?
And it was the environment that triggered the loss of that thought. Like, oh, if I go back into the other room, sometimes I could remember it. The environment helped you restore it. I've seen it. I mean, we've all seen this. This is classic cartoon.
Yo. And I don't know whether to call this deja vu or whatever, because a similar thing has happened to me, like, really regularly, right? Where you think to yourself, okay, let me go do this. Okay, for example, let me go get my headphone, right? Not headphone, but earbud case, right? You see that little case that holds the earbuds for you to, you know what I'm saying? Let me go get that. Damn. Okay, my little earbud is lying. Battery low. Okay, I need my case. Whoa. You go to the next room. Man, what the fuck I'm here for? No, seriously. What am I here for? What? No, it's not money. It's not my goddamn keys, bruh. What am I here for? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what happens with me? You know what actually I found helps me with that kind of process, right? I go back to the previous environment I was at, and then I ask myself the question, okay, what should we do now? Like, I swear to God, like, that shit helps. Seriously, try it. Like, if you forget like what you are going to do, you hit the next room, you kind of forgot, you know what I'm saying? Go back to the previous room or the previous nigga. I'm telling you, like, go back to even, standing in the same position you were standing in when the thought hit you. I'm telling you, it's gonna come back. Everything will come back. You know what I'm saying? Promise. Let me see if they're gonna say anything about that.
101, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But novelty, making something new and repetitive, forces the brain out of autopilot mode. So if the environment changes, this is what we do when we capture people and put them in a intelligence gathering detention facility. Okay. It's what we do when someone joins a cult. It's what we're doing to ourselves. I'm deliberately disrupting the environment, and it's effective in these other areas. But you could use it in therapy. You could use it. It's just a brain operating system. You could help somebody with it. You could use it on a crisis hotline. Right. So when the environment changes, prediction errors increase. So a prediction error is our brain saying, I've been in here a million times. Here's exactly what it's going to look like. Here's exactly what it's going to happen. Here's how this conversation is going to play out. Yeah. So those little errors in prediction increase. So anytime the brain has a spike in prediction errors, it becomes plastic again. This means that some neurons that need to get a divorce will get a divorce, and they'll start dating other people and eventually reconnect where they need to be inside the brain. So this is why people change more on vacations and trips than they do at home.
Oh, yeah. So go back to like interrogation moment. Like, so you take this person, you put them in a place they've never seen before. Yeah. Because it's a novel and unfamiliar setting for them. That's why the behavior where they know they're not going to tell you what you want to tell. They know they're going to be loyal to their origin commitment.
Yeah. Bad habits, old habits.
That error changes, and they start to do things they would have never done, in part because the environment is so bizarre to their brain.
Of course.
True?
Yes.
Okay.
Damn, but that like, okay, I think I have experienced that, like in like IRL, right, in real life, like in my own life. I cannot explain how, like, when my brain latches on to uncomfortability, I totally hate that shit, bruh.
I don't like
Like-
that shit for sure, bro. I don't like
You know?
that shit.
And then I guess my brain just gets so nervous. I think it's like, you know, it might be the same concept as culture shock. I don't know. Where it's like an environment is just like getting your brain so nervous it kind of just malfunctions. You're like, nah, fuck all this. I'm serious, seriously. You know what I'm saying? It just gets too afraid. But I guess what? You gotta shock it? I don't know if I heard it right, but we trying to force ourselves to rewire our shit. I don't know.
That's it.
Maybe.
So how do we use that for
And-
ourselves then?
Yes, modifying all of these things makes our brain say, whoa, this is different. So
Okay.
this could be getting a new wardrobe, rearranging furniture, painting a few rooms
What
in your
else?
house. So now the next few weeks when you walk in there, you'd be like, whoa, I forgot I did this. Like right when you wake up.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had clients that just went out and bought all new furniture. And I realize not everybody can do that.
Yep.
But you can make changes that are very different. Jam a stuffed animal into your dashboard, whatever it takes, whatever you have to do. How can I make my brain say, whoa, this isn't what I predicted, or this is different than the map that I formed before? So I'm going to spike prediction errors there. And
You know, I have a great story like this. So I was trying to get this. I was working with a person who was addicted to alcohol, and the judge had sent her to our clinic,
Yeah.
and she was had more resources than most, and she moved out of her
Well,
bedroom
She was mad rich. She was dead rich, right?
to her child's bedroom that had left for school while her bedroom was being remodeled. And she stopped drinking when she was in the child's bedroom.
For real.
Like it was like, I think I just need to.
Nah, then what the fuck, bro? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna share it on the moral of story, right? MOS. That's a little section. It's a podcast take. I'm not a podcast. I don't consider myself a podcast, but I have these little podcast take segments where it's just, just me, my own monologue into like what I've learned and, you know what I'm saying, my own takeaways from the video that I just reacted to. I think I might just like expand a little on that whole situation where it's like the environment really has to change. But then again, it's like it has to be an environment where you can apply it. Because okay, look, it's a long story. I'm gonna catch me on the MOS and you know what I'm saying? Because I'll explain a whole lot of that and how shit my environment really may be a stumbling block for me personally. Damn. I'll explain later.
Stay in this bedroom because I'm afraid to go back to the place where the other
Yes.
behavior was. And
No, I get that. But you gotta understand, people's lives are really small. They're people whose lives are really small. For an example, like you live in a two compartment room, sort of an apartment, right? It's probably maybe the living space and then the bedroom space with a little bathroom area. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And this doctor right here is breaking down somebody that had the liberty to just like choose a room in the house. And yes, maybe the house is big enough that you may have had moments when you spent 2 full years without, walking into one of the rooms in the house. That's how big the house is. So then now, obviously, this helps this experience. That helps this kind of experiment because now you can just tap into a room that you never was in and help yourself change as a result of being in there. Now imagine you just like in one room one room. Everything is in one space. Where what room is you all, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
that was the weirdest thing, but I told her, do whatever works. If you stop drinking because you moved into your kid's bedroom, hot damn, give the master bedroom to somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what happened to her.
Fuck.
I love that. And it's
I
so
get
true.
that.
We hear stories like this all the time.
That is true, man.
And it's not that you're weaker at home or
What does it
in the particular,
mean?
you're just scripted.
Oh my
So
god,
you deliberately
why?
disrupt the environment to break all of these old loops. So the protocol here
Is what?
deliberately change something, the physical layout, all the visual cues that you're used to seeing, the daily routines,
Yeah.
the clothing or schedule or looks or whatever it is. Maybe the app that you use, maybe you're going to stop using some apps. You're going to come repeatedly.
Man, and that app stuff, yo, tell that to Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? Yo, tell that to Gen Z, my boy, because you know what I'm saying, like Gen Z, when it comes to apps and bro, like spending time on phones and like brain, you know, the whole brain rot energy, brain rot culture, dog, like it's really like, I can imagine why it's so tough for somebody, you know, of younger, you know, these younger generations, Gen Z, you know, Gen Alpha. Hey, now we got Gen Beta hitting the scene from 2025 moving forward. It's just that, you know, yeah, the data on Gen Beta is not even, you know, collected yet because them niggas is literally still being born right now. But yeah, these younger generations, bro, it's like they're raised by these apps, right? Now imagine we getting into a world where the apps are everything. The apps, you know what I'm saying? They provide income for people. Apps provide, you know, careers for people, where people launch careers. Like these apps are just like, damn man, they tell you when to wake up, god damn it, they tell you like what workouts to do, god damn. You know what I'm saying? How the hell am I supposed to change my habits knowing, okay, I'm stifled by these apps, right? But at the same time, my whole life revolves around these apps. And it's like, yo, what do we do then, doctor?
Tell the brain, A, you're in charge. B, things are different.
Okay.
That's kind of what's happening.
Just tell the motherfucker you're in charge. I get it.
Novelty forces our attention.
Right.
Attention creates plasticity, and then plasticity creates new behavior. So that is that step.
Wow. So, and I have seen that play out in lives that I've never had the words to put those together.
For real?
I think of another story of adding a puppy, where this mothering this really broken brain.
Yeah.
I mean, there's negative brains, and then there's this lady.
Damn.
And she got a puppy. And she's going to die of dementia in the next 5 years. That's what happened to her story. But the puppy awoke something that was, again, a complete distraction. And her nurturing side came out instead of her growly side. And I wonder, it might have been part of what triggered that.
That's
okay, you know what? I'm going to cover this on the MOS.
beautiful.
My bad.
I bet it is.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we're at 4, the environmental sabotage.
Environmental sabotage.
Yes.
Do that on purpose.
Step 5 is mammalian brain reprogramming.
What?
And this is our lower part of our brain. We want to reprogram this to set these goals
the mammal
correctly.
brain.
And there's a million YouTube videos out there that are going to give
Oh
you...
yeah, the lower part of our brain, the animalistic shit, the primitive shit. Yeah, my fault. Go on, Professor. My fault.
Here's an 8-step proven goal-setting system. Just use neuroscience. Like it's proven. It's proven.
It's proven?
And this is the fastest way to change. I do this for all my clients.
Nice.
But let's talk about conditioning. This is what cults do. It's what happens in the interrogation room, but it's also how a good mentor or a coach can help somebody else.
Yep.
And I think conditioning scares people a little bit.
A little bit?
The truth is, though, you're already conditioned.
Exactly.
You're just not doing it on purpose. You're doing it on accident. So your brain learns through repetition, emotional tagging, social reinforcement, and perceived authority.
Nice.
Those are the 4 ways our brain really learns.
Right.
They're just learning mechanisms. So when you align that spells out the word fate, and that becomes our fate. The mammalian brain is controlled by focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. Those 4 things that spell out fate. If you align all that, behavior starts shifting without any negotiation because there's no words really involved there. And this is how habits become more
Let me see that
automatic
again,
in
then.
emotion.
Focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. Authority, tribe, and emotion. Yeah, you know, taking a look at this now, I might have thought I was trying to quit. I might have thought I was, you know what I'm saying, changing my ways, but golly, bro, like, I wasn't even scratching the surface. What?
Those 4 things that spell out fate. If you align all that, behavior starts shifting without any negotiation because there's no words really involved there. This is how habits become more automatic.
Seriously.
This is why some changes feel like they were totally effortless and others were just super impossible, even when they're objectively harder. The protocol is to weaponize that fate model. Weaponize your own focus. Constant visual exposure to all of your goals, not affirmations.
Oh my, constant. Oh, shit, yeah.
Actual signals to the animal part of your brain.
Map that out a little bit further for me so that there's a focus. That one's easy for me. The tribe and the emotion are easy for me. But tell me about what the authority means on that statement.
Bro, you know what I'm realizing? I'm realizing it's a lot of things that I need to put in place if I even want to halfway change my ways. Oh, hell nah.
You're getting proof that your nervous system respects.
What's that?
So there's a trusted advisor. Maybe if I'm trying to lose weight, I'm going to watch people with lab coats on YouTube and listen to advice from people who are
I see.
perceived authority and actual authority.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, shit. You know, my fault. I gotta lay this point out. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? To me, I feel like that happens better intrinsically, right? Like when you naturally, and I feel like that's when you apply, that's when the lower part of your brain kind of applies itself, because apparently, you know what I'm saying, you cannot tell the lower part of the brain what to do. You know what I'm saying? That shit is habitual, it's animalistic, it's primitive, right? I would be so pissed, again, pissed, you know what I'm saying, at the fact that how the hell is it so hard to change? And I'm just like so annoyed, right? I just go back and forth in my head, and then I just like find myself, okay, talking about habits again, talking about environmental sabotage, right? Like I keep on going back to the channels that inspire me to get on my old habits, channels that would probably inspire my gaze, like my, you know, my material gaze on life, and then try and just react to that and respond to that, you know what I'm saying? Like instead of just like, you know, recognizing where I am and recognizing my need to save more money, I watch channels of creators really kind of splurge money and be like, yeah, that's it, that's what we, yeah baby, that's what we want, Nick, you know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it's like, damn, I get so annoyed, especially at the fact that, look, I'm trying to change my financial ways, right? My financial habits and shit like that. So once I get to that pissed sort of level, right? That pissed, I naturally gravitate towards, like, you know, minimalistic kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like people that literally live so frugally, it's kind of disgusting. Alright, let's get off of that. Let's get off of the disgusting shit. I'm not even talking about disgusting. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like yeah, okay, cool.
So I have that nervous system respect for these people.
Yeah.
And that would be the authority part.
Nice.
So I'm going to prove it to my nervous systems in some way by something that is either a symbolic authority or actual authority.
Yeah.
So the tribe one, that means that there's someone in your similar story or your life that's doing something, and you mirror them, you copy them. That's what tribe means to me when I've heard you talk about it.
Type shit.
It could be.
Okay.
That would be step one. The second layer of tribe would be getting around people who expect that version of you to show up.
Oh my God, expect that version.
So now you're living off of social expectancy.
Fuck.
And we know the number one human fear is judgment and being judged, which is why public speaking is rated our top fear. Even
So do you think it's possible to like change your ways and change your habits in this way as an introvert? Like as in having nobody, like literally. I could go days without having nobody talk to me. And you know what? I love that shit. Oh my God, I gotta change that. Oh my, I literally gotta turn to what I hate. Shit.
No, it's judgment. So you're having to live up to that identity there.
Yeah,
and then the
what
emotions
else?
make the future you visible, personal, real. Write them a letter. Put a letter in a coat pocket that you're not going to use for a few months to yourself. Like do stuff that your future self is going to be like, wow, I was actually thinking about me back then. And you start developing that relationship. And it is just so powerful.
That really is that mammalian brain. This is the part where, again, the dog training. I know that sounds terrible, and people can think of it as, but really, the dog. If you've trained a dog, really, you have to focus on the one thing you're trying to teach. If you show up and you're wimpy, the authoritative brain, they have to see you as an authority, or they're not going to learn how to sit or fetch or watch the gate. And then when you have an older dog that can help show this is what's expected of that dog.
Damn,
brilliant.
So you gotta be, oh my God.
So then the last one, I guess, emotion is you kind of reward the dog, you pet the dog. I guess maybe the dog emotion runs out of
maybe.
No. They feel tremendous. Like they've even proven there's a huge surge of dopamine when they finish doing a task, right before they get scratched and right before they get told that they did a great job.
Good boy.
Our brains work the same way. They're anatomically, they're almost identical. Like we have the same structures as a dog.
It is what I went down the rabbit hole studying you because I'm like, this is. I grew up on a farm where I think I learned more about animals.
That's beautiful. Yo, I feel like the people that come from a farm, bro, or maybe that come from like a place where you, having grown up in like a modern type setup, a modern type situation, you would look at somebody who grew up at a farm and be like, yo, they're so limited, their world is so small, they don't have, you know, enough reach to know what's going on, you know, their awareness is so, I feel like that's the best one, bro. That's the best version of you. Because all that innocence, it's necessary, dog. Once all that innocence goes away, I feel like that. Oh my God! Hold on. Boom. Boom. I feel like that's what we're trying to get into. Talking about we're trying to change habits, change old habits. No, you're actually trying to get to your old innocent self. The self that just like popped into this world pure as you were. Because now, obviously, you know what I'm saying, a whole lot of momentum has been racked up just off of you living and understanding the world in the way that you've understood it and how you were taught to understand it and shit like that. That it's like getting away is the mission now, right? Damn. I think we're kind of getting somewhere. What y'all think? Put y'all thoughts in the comment. Please put it in there. Please like the video if you're getting value, right? I mean that.
That I did about humans for the next 20 years.
Okay.
And then trying to explain why the human is doing some things that are very unsafe. This is not good for you. And the way you teach this is exactly how, if you want to take and improve this human, there are some very primitive and mammalian traits that, well, all right, keep going. What number are we on?
Doc.
6?
6.
A 6, okay.
Yeah.
One thing to write down is the further deeper into the brain that I can get all of these things, the more effective it's going to be. And 99% of the systems out there are focusing just on this prefrontal cortex, this little human brain. We're not getting down to the thing that actually makes all of our decisions.
Yeah.
All right. So this step is called fear.
Fear.
F-E-A-R.
Let's do it.
And this is where everything kind of locks in.
Lock in.
This is where the repetition starts reshaping the nervous system.
Yep.
Now, there's a thing in neuroscience called Hebb's postulate.
What's that?
And this says that neurons that fire together wire together.
Okay.
And that's Hebb's postulate. But only.
It's as simple as, you know, a family that prays together stays together. You know what I'm saying? Birds of the same feather flock together. Like, come on, bro. What are we talking about?
If the signal repeats and matters emotionally.
Yeah.
I've actually had correction of that where if you just repeat something, you know, they're firing together.
Yep.
But when you can lock in an emotion during a season of their life, now it rewires. Now you've got a brain that's paying attention. And we get a lot more outcomes when... absolutely. So does fear must stand for something, I suppose?
It does.
Okay.
And you can kind of visualize the last time like the batteries were low in your smoke detector.
Yep.
That little beep like every 2 or 3 minutes when it starts beeping. At first it pisses you off. And then you're like, yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then your brain ignores it.
It kind of like numbs it out, but it's not a numbing out. That it sort of has become one with your brain. Ooh, one with your senses. Ooh, all right.
So some neuronal firing, like that little thing, gets ignored.
You're so used to it, dog.
It doesn't really wire together to get recognition.
Okay.
And because the novelty wears off.
Okay, shit, I think I was wrong. Let me see.
So that's what we're saying.
Oh, the novelty wears off. Right.
Firing together, wiring together with emotionality there. And that's the key that most people miss. Repetition without emotion is just a bunch of noise to your brain.
Without emotion.
And emotion without repetition just fades off after time. You might have a good memory, but it's going to fade off.
Nice.
When both are present, the brain updates its model of reality.
Really?
So changes really get a lot easier, and it starts feeling like who you are instead of what you're doing. And that's the biggest shift that you can make in your
You know the... Okay, let me let him finish.
life. When I've set these goals, and there's a point where it stops becoming what I'm doing today and who I am today.
Bro, what I'm trying to say is that, I've been putting so much effort into just like building new patterning within my own brain and my own body, my own being, my own emotions, to a point where it's like, the emotions are always like excluded. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I operate in that logical, do A, B, C, da, ra, 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 right? To a point where my emotions are not following along. They're not tagging along. It's like one of those things where it's like, we just gotta do this. We just gotta do. And like, I've always had the sort of the idea to keep doing that, keep doing what, the idea, keep doing the idea and the willpower until the emotions just sort of like snatch into like the whole motion of the whole thing. Whereas like that may be wrong, right? Is that what I'm understanding here?
Reversing that would now require energy, which the brain really hates to waste. So now we have some deep change in a human being. So let's go into this fear protocol.
Let's do it.
Fear is the actual formula to brainwash a human being. And it stands for focus, emotion, agitation, and repetition. So we covered a few of these.
Okay.
Daily exposure.
Focus, emotion, agitation, repetition. Focus, emotion, okay, cool.
No exceptions.
Break it down.
And then emotion, tying all these habits to relief, pride, safety, and then going the other direction to failure, harm, all the negative outcomes and negative consequences.
Yep.
And then agitation. This is what we just talked about a minute ago. I'm disrupting my environment. I'm disrupting as much as I possibly can to tell my brain this is new and unexpected.
Right.
And then repetition. You track it until the discipline disappears. Why do you want the discipline to disappear? Because then it becomes a habit.
Yeah, it becomes
So we
who you
see
are.
people going to the gym all the time.
So instead of like forcing yourself, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like seeing it as like an assignment to just complete and submit and forget about it, right? It just becomes who you are. It's just like doing anything different. Gotta feel weird. It has to feel weird.
Oh, he's eating kale chips when everybody's got Reese's peanut butter cups. That's not discipline.
Reese's peanut butter cups. Let's do it.
That's a person who used a little bit of discipline for a couple of weeks and then just had a new habit. So people think like, oh, he's going to the gym.
I'm not gonna lie. I am at that exact same spot. We listen and we don't judge.
So disciplined, not disciplined. He had discipline initially, but it just takes a little teaspoon of discipline, and then the habit forms. And after the habit forms, it's who you are, not what you're doing.
So let's
How
just
long does
unpack
that
that
take?
here and see if we can
How long does that
apply
take?
this. So one of the behaviors that I try to teach on my channel, I'm taking care of lots of folks who've been insulin resistant for 20, 30 years. And one of the most powerful change behaviors is not eating after sunset. So we want no food after sunset. So if we were trying to use that as...
No food after sunset? What, fasting?
All right. We've got to find identity in somebody who does not eat at bedtime, does not eat from 5 o'clock
before
on.
bedtime,
So, again, lots of social things happening there. The number of temptations they have to eat,
crazy.
The list is a mile long. So, okay, so let's just use that focus, emotion, agitation, repetition in that setting. So the focus would be...
I would say if it was one of my clients, I would say this is going to be this. Most of these decisions will happen in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
Unless you've got a fridge in your bedroom or something.
Gotta help them.
I would say, let's go to that fridge. Then I'm going to get all the consequences of inaction. I'm going to put that on one side of the fridge.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to the handle.
Okay.
Okay. So this half of the fridge is going to be, maybe I'll have a letter up there from Dr. Boss that says, I'm so sorry, you've only got 36 weeks left to live. Or whatever the extreme consequences.
Nah, come on. That extreme though? Fuck! I'm
So
cooked.
I can actually see the letter.
Fuck! I'm cooked.
Then I'm going to maybe download an app that makes me gigantic, or download an app that's going to show me what or an image of a blood cell that's damaged.
Yeah. Okay.
To scare myself to life? Fuck! It's overweight, bro.
Dead
Damn.
mitochondria. What I look like in 10 years if I do this, in
my
10 years
God.
if I don't. And then all the positive things on the left side of that fridge.
Yep.
So every time I walk up there, I've got focus.
What else?
I've got emotion.
What else?
And I have agitation.
that's
That's a
brilliant.
little bit of agitation.
Right.
Yep.
And then I'm seeing it all day, every day. But I want more agitation than that, obviously.
Okay.
I'm going to try to change up everything I possibly can.
Yep.
So just that one little step is a visual reminder of which side of this fridge am I choosing. So it starts forcing you to prioritize your future self.
Yep.
Oh, that is so perfect because it's in the moment. I mean, one of the hardest things that I failed at this a lot, Jace,
What's
which
that?
is I need them to reach for a habit in a time where their brain has done the opposite of what I want them to do for 10 years, for 20 years.
Damn.
And now I'm saying, you got all the temptation. You're right there. You're alone. Nobody's watching. And now I need you to do the opposite of what you've done for 20 years, how do you reach that moment? So what you've just changed there is, I mean, you touched on a lot of things that would do that. Their environment was sabotaged. They've got this place where it says, hey, look at you. Look, I mean, one of my favorite things is to look at the image of a patient with Parkinson's and dementia. I mean, their face, I can see it in their face. And if you've ever cared for somebody when their brain's not working right, I mean, at the end of their life, you just look at that picture and you can say, that's the brain I'm trying to prevent. And it should scare the tar out of people because it's a terrible moment. But you've got the environment changed. The mammalian brain part that we were just, is also like, okay, you know, go call your support group. Find any way out of this moment. You've got a tribe of people that are expecting you to do the right thing. So all of this is really building. But I now have a pretty clear imagery of saying, this habit is killing you. It really is killing you. It really creating that the open the fridge and face reality because it's brilliant. It's in the spot that they're making the mistake too.
Right.
Okay.
And you want to shove some of those things in our own face. So that's what we want to do. So like some of these beliefs, the reality of that belief, we'll take it to the extreme a little bit, but maybe we'll make it a beautiful desktop wallpaper kind of thing with good text on it. But we have one of those beliefs right in their face where they see it and it says like, I don't deserve to be healthy.
Fudge.
And we shove it right in their face, and the brain is very reactive, and so we are, you know, we're more prone to move away from things. So it's not like you're going to accidentally program your brain by having that with mountains in the background or anything. But
that amygdala would light up, and you would be irritated. There would be anger. That is exactly the neuroscience.
Anger, be pissed, flip out, get out of body. All right, my fault.
What do you mean I don't deserve to be healthy? And now I will tell you, I have met that patient tens of thousands of times where they are sabotaging their own health. And it's from a root analysis in their childhood where they were either neglected or that wasn't prioritized.
Oh my God, there's that too. Yo, subscribe to my psychology related reaction so that, you know, from this point on, we go there and we see how to build a healthy psychology. You know what I'm saying?
Comfort themselves with food during a time when a parent should have been in their life more.
Yeah.
And so there's whispering in their own soul that is sabotaging it. And
the demons.
Almost to like call it out. You don't deserve this.
Shit.
And now you got them ticked off. But they're awake. They are cognitively recognizing.
Shit, they crashing out, nigga. Like, damn, I was joking. I was kidding. Everybody deserves happiness. My bad, my fault. Shit.
Why are you doing this again?
Yeah, as a side to that, like I have another client right now. He's a CEO of a small company, but he's afraid of charging higher fees, and, and he's afraid of like asking for money from these people and doing work. And a lot of people have really screwed up stuff in our psychology with money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
He has a problem asking for this money. It's not even ridiculous money. He's not asking for millions or anything for,
What's he asking for?
This thing. It's just more than he thinks it should be. But I'm like, well, your services warrant that. So why don't you just charge more? He's like, yeah, I don't know. So we made him a desktop wallpaper, actually on his desktop wallpaper, that says, my kids don't deserve money.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Don't deserve success.
Get him out of his own spot because it is the consequences of that block that's going to affect them.
Yes.
Oh, that is good. You are tricky. That is perfect.
You devil, you. What are you talking about? Yo, give that money to your children, man. What the fuck is going on?
When he said that rewired him. Just us doing that rewired him in like 3 days. And he still has it as his desktop wallpaper. Just so he can look at it every day.
Kids don't deserve money.
This is bullshit.
And when you're raised by somebody who really is a miser, and
that's really ass.
That's in your core.
But it works. W.
Belief. You're almost haunted by, why am I making this decision when I know better? To bring something full, attack it with the opposite, like the ridiculousness that you don't deserve to be healthy, that your kids deserve poverty, and that's what you're giving them by not charging for what your value is in the economy. You've done this before.
You've done this before.
I've done it before.
For decades.
So the only thing I would leave people with this system is, too many people think that I didn't do this because I was lazy or I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because of some personality trait. Fill in the blank personality trait. The reason that you failed in the past
is what?
is not because you're lazy. It's because you were taught systems that ignore how humans actually change. All we did is take something that is used in Guantanamo and then moved it into goal setting, just because it's so good. And it's proven.
Okay,
All of this is
so unpack that Guantanamo, like just unpack that for, because I've heard you tell the story before, so I got exactly what you said, but make it very clear for what did you learn at Guantanamo that now you're putting in the neuroscience of changing people who are stuck?
Yeah, and this isn't just Guantanamo. And this is how Charles Manson worked. This is how the Waco guy, David Koresh, like recruited people.
All right, let's finish this off.
Like nothing else, and that's novelty. We know a massive amount of focus. Then we have a massive amount of emotion. So what happens when you get into you're captured on a battlefield?
Good question.
Lots of emotion. There's people yelling at you, people slapping you across the face. You're sleep deprived. You're getting woken up to Britney Spears. Nonstop every time you fall asleep and sprayed with water. But on the other side, when you join a cult, there's love bombing.
Oh yeah.
It's still emotion. It's massive amounts of emotion in either direction works to change the human brain. And then
It's two sides. It's two extremes of the same spectrum, right?
agitation, exposure to things that your brain cannot predict. And this is everything when you join a cult. It's everything in the interrogation room, and it's the fastest way to rewire human behavior. And then repetition. We just keep doing it and keep doing it, and it doesn't stop. And then your brain just says, "Oh, this is not going to stop. I'm just going to take these neurons, disconnect them, and reconnect them in this new pattern."
Yep.
So that agitation part is you don't deserve this, your kid's poverty. Finding something that part has to be, it hurts my gut to say that out loud. So clearly that's, a home of origin for me too, is like, oh, there's not enough money for that. You can't do that. This is the path you're supposed to be on. Yep. The agitation has to be higher than what I was helping patients with. Like I've never pushed that part of it.
And agitation's great. And for some people, it's a tiny little tweak is enough to do it. Some people you need to go up a little higher. There's so many different ways that we can get our brain to be neuroplastic. But those two ways of novelty, repetition, and increasing that prediction error mechanism in our brain forces that neuroplasticity. And let's get specific here. Neuroplasticity is a general term. What we're really talking about here is something else called synaptic plasticity. Okay. This is where the synapses are getting divorced and then starting to date other people, and then they might get married to these new neurons in a way that helps us. So
cheaters.
The fastest way to change is just following this recipe.
Oh shit, it's not cheating if you divorce. Nah, my bad, my fault. I've never been married. I'm not too, versed.
It's been proven for hundreds of years.
And I think that when I look at the end result that I want that patient to be talking about, it's that their identity is no longer that of a fat person. It is that of a healthy person. That's not how healthy people think. They don't do that. But you don't just wake up telling them the words. You have to rewire with some of these. There has to be emotion. And some of that emotion needs to be, they are ticked off. And that's almost where the divorce happens. Like, oh, huh? Yeah. That's different. And getting that attention, without it, I've seen the fail.
The identity is the shift that needs to be made. So what you can ask these patients are, or anybody, I would ask this question to, if you were an Olympic level athlete, and you had a perfect body, and you woke up in that body tomorrow, how freaking hard would you instantly start working to get back to what you identify with and get right back to where that baseline, what you identify as baseline. So the day you woke up, everything shifted. You didn't need goals. You didn't need a bunch of Post-it notes. You didn't need some big goal-setting planner taped up on the wall that looks really nice. You just needed the identity. The identity was 10x the amount of fuel that you needed to make that shift. So at the end of the day, just implant that idea of, like, if I am this person, I'm repulsed by this, not in a way that I'm self-judging of anything. It's like, I will not live in this location. I do not like this location of my body or this physicality. And I'm just going back to where I belong. And that's what they're really doing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm raising 3 sons, ages 19, 22, and 24.
Beautiful.
And doing great in life. They are doing great at life. But when you see them shift away from the identity that they wanted to be, it's just powerful how quickly they will say things like, that is not what I would have done when I was on the wrestling team 2 years ago in high school. And so they found that identity. They articulated it. I also think that the agitation part is what, maybe me as a mom, I'm not pulling on that. I would have stayed away from that. But that's part of it. That's part of finding what agitates them, that this is the person you become without that change. Yeah.
Very true. That's great.
Very
great observation. They're super self-aware if they're doing that. That's great.
Yeah. Well, let's let's see how that story plays out. They're young men, so
let's do it.
Remember when you were 19 years old? all the stupid things they still do. You're like, yep.
It's always a game of we'll see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hold on tight to your daughter. You said is 2.
Yes, my oldest is 24.
Oh, okay, so you've been through this chapter once, and now you're about to hold on for a tight ride again, where you'll blink and she's 15.
I have.
Well, so the beautiful part of this is that I come to New Year's every year and I almost blow it off because patients are like, oh, they're going to fail. This is what's going to happen. And when I started looking into your, like, how do you brainwash ourselves? It just sounds naughty. Like, well, maybe that's going to work because what we've been doing of coaxing them, of cajoling, even bribing them to change behavior. Well, that is not working. It has not worked for.
Sounds like self-harm, right?
I'm 54 years of negative working. But this framework,
it's crazy, right?
Oh, it is true. I can feel that it is true. Like,
nice.
Oh, that is exactly how you would change behavior. This year's New Year's resolution is going to be completely different. So I want to say that the things, if I was looking for the book, I was looking through all your books. You have some tomes out there that I'm like, I'm not ready to read those, but Dr. Phil says this is the #1 book in the world, and it's 800 pages. I'm like, let's start with a couple of the cool ones that I think my audiences would like. So there's it's got the word 6 in it. What is
6-minute X-ray?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So to wrap it up for yourself and get the book resources and everything like that, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to go to the channel right here and go and support there over there, right? So it's Dr. Boz and Bosworth, right? MD and Mr. Chase Hughes. So go ahead and this is a good video, informative. Give it a like. Make sure you subscribe there so that you can stay informed with information like this. This is value, right? This is value. I like it. Yeah.
It should be the other way around. I should experience the object and then search for a label.